Nuance with Nikki, the nitty gritty, even if it's not pretty. Guys, this one's gonna be a bit different today. Um, I've been trying to stay away from Nuance with Nikki for a while because I want to focus on my actual life right now with school being open and everything. I can't be spending hours on this now. But this came up on my news feed, and there is no way that I'm gonna let this woman walk through this alone. There's no way. It's half a century of pain and shame. And when a mama needs a sister or a daughter, it's time for us to stand there. So this is different from my politics stuff or my race stuff or anything. This is just two women having a conversation across the ocean. Mama, tell us your story.
Okay, it's time for me to talk about it.
And it's time for us to hear you. And it's time for you to know you're not alone, Mama.
No, I'm crying today. But that young girl in the church, the way she was treated was wrong. Let me give y'all a story. Irvin. Okay. Before Irvin, I have a son. Well, he passed. Rain Rico.
And may Rico rest in peace, Mama.
And I couldn't tell nobody that I was pregnant because I was scared. I was 17 years old and in high school. So I finally told my mama. She accepted it. And back in the days, they would tell you when you getting pregnant without being married, the child is considered a bastard child, which is a hurting thing.
Mama, you know there's a whole race group of people across the world. We're called colored people, and we were called bastards first because our first generation was half European, half African, a race called Khoisan. And so the whole race group was called bastard. So we can relate. And there's also a generational cycle of teen pregnancies. It's a stereotype about us. So much so that I am 38 years old and I still have a paranoia if I walk around with someone's child that someone's going to think I'm a teen mom because it's been such a stigma. So I want you to know you're not alone. Okay?
And yes, I was in the holiness church as well. Went to church all the time with my auntie. We stayed in church. Saturdays, we packed the lunch and that's where we stayed in church. So when I got pregnant with Irvin, I already made the mistake the way I felt with Rico. So of course I can't tell that I'm pregnant again in high school with Irvin. So I hid it.
Mama, this generation of women does not judge you. Remember, this was 46 years ago. Okay, it was a different time. There was no way that 17-year-old you was going to face that. Just as a generation, you faced a different level of racism, a different level of sexism, and there's also religious abuse. Things for which you would not have had the vocabulary to even navigate. We have social media and we can connect. There are millions like you around the world who had to live in these silent silos with that story stuck inside of them. And some of us, that didn't happen to, but if you had all of those intersections added to whatever was happening in your community, there is a chance you were coerced. There is a chance that maybe it was the first person that made you feel beautiful. There was a chance that maybe people didn't see your beauty. There are so many factors. We don't know what your personal struggle was, but we know at least two people are responsible for what happened there. Even though the entire burden of responsibility was put on you, a child. We don't know how old the person is. Here in our country, with the fractured sense of black families, of colored families as well, there's been a missing father element there too. And often the young girls here are left vulnerable to immature young men though. Single mom, she's running the household herself as a teenager, and you have 25, 26-year-old men, grown-ups. You have uncles that prey on people. There's a huge history behind that, and I'm not saying this in judgment. I'm just trying to say that even on the other side of the world, you're not alone. And we understand that there are more factors than just your actions. And that's just the political side. We don't even know the personal part. But my intuition tells me that that was too heavy a burden for you personally to bear. Not excuses, just mitigating circumstances. You know, this is called nuance with Nikki, and we can look at context, even if we're missing something. My intuition tells me, and there are still women going through this today, still young girls going through this today, that there are some circumstances, perhaps like that one, that you just didn't have the tools to navigate, and that this situation required a level of grown-upness that little girl just didn't know how to do better with. Didn't have the tools, especially as a young, innocent Christian girl. The church can be one of the most sexually aggressive and sexually coercive places. It is why I'm not a Christian today, Ma. I've lit a candle for you. You should know I'm a witch. You should know that I've done no witchcraft on your behalf. All I've done is lit a candle of hope.
I hid it. And one night, I was so angry. I had to wear long, big shirts and different things to disguise myself because I didn't want to bring this so-called bastard child into my family. Because that's...
Mama, the shame around your body and hiding it. The shame that you felt as a mother that should just feel nothing but joy and love for her child. It's not a bastard child, it was a human being. To use your language, fearfully and wonderfully made. And you deserved better than to have that weight of shame put onto the most beautiful moment of your life. You deserve to be embraced.
That's what they call them. So I hid it. And my mama went to work one night, and I was sitting in my mama's den, I remember. And Rico went to sit on me, and my water bust, and my mama boyfriend was there, and I told him, I said, I wouldn't tell him I was pregnant. I said, could you take me to the hospital? I hadn't had no prenatal care because I couldn't tell nobody.
It's an awful thing to have to go through. Having no prenatal care, having to hide your pregnancy and hide yourself.
So they took me to the hospital. He took me to the hospital. I knew I was delivering, and Irvin wasn't quite 7 months. So we got in went up to the nurse, and I told her, I said, I'm having a baby. I didn't even look pregnant because I was trying to hide it. So, and she says, no. I says, I'm having a baby. And she says, no. I said, yes, I am. I'm having a baby. And she says, well, what's going on? I said, I feel like I'm getting ready to push this baby out. So she looked, and she says, you're having a baby. And she put me in a wheelchair to get me upstairs, and I had Irvin in the elevator.
Mama, how did no one notice? How were you able to hide it? You deserve to be seen, no matter what choices you made. You deserved support.
Elevator of the hospital. Okay, I could have broke Irvin's neck because I was sitting in the chair at the time I was having a baby. Then I had him early. The reason why I had him early because I was under so much stress because I couldn't tell my mom and I couldn't tell nobody that I was pregnant. And when I tell y'all, that haunts me to the day. See my face? That haunts me to the day.
We see your face. It was my face that, it was your face that drew me to your video. Half a century of exhaustion, Mama. We forgive you, Mama. Not that it's our place, but we forgive you. For whatever you think you did wrong, it's past now. That you couldn't even talk about it, and that you were under so much stress that you gave birth to a preemie. Mama.
So, I'm going to tell you something, Pastor, you so-called pastor. That what you said and did to that girl is wrong. Because when you said she couldn't have a baby shower, and she was so evil from having a baby, I guess, that's going to haunt that girl the rest of her life.
You're right. And I'm so glad you finally found the voice to say it, Mama. He was wrong. He was wrong. He lied. He failed as a leader. He failed as a man. He failed as an adult. And you deserved a baby shower. And you are not evil, and you are not broken, and you are not filthy. You were a precious little girl. And he's not perfect either. I assure you that he's made mistakes too. And if in that many years with a theological degree, he who calls himself pastor could behave nothing like Jesus, who washed the feet of prostitutes, who died for murderers, according to your faith. His very service, everything he has ever done for these years, has been an act of blasphemy. His purpose on this earth is compassion. He has failed. You are not the broken one. There's a word for this. It's called religious abuse, and it is called shame transference. You send that shame back to that faulty excuse for a man who has had 46 years to come to you, own up, and ask you for forgiveness. You put that weight down now. It is not you who failed.
And to the girl, hold your head up, sweetheart. Get your good education. Take care of yourself and take care of your baby. Because I'm going to tell you something. Don't end up like me and regret what I did for the rest of my life because I kept it secret. And I want all young girls to understand, when you're pregnant, talk about it. Because the same people who talking about you and putting you down, if they're not lifting you up now, they're not going to lift you up as you go. And I just want to say, shame on you, Pastor. Shame on you.
I'm proud of you, Mama. And you are right. And you know what you did today by putting up that video? You broke that cycle. You took responsibility for all those mistakes, and you don't have to suffer anymore. You don't have to make self-sabotaging decisions anymore. You don't have to apologize for your space anymore because you are leading by example and you held your head up high. And you know what? You've got a sisterhood all around the world who's standing with you and who loves you and who don't give a tiddlywink what that pastor said. But we care about you and we care about your suffering and we're here with you. Okay? We're here with you, Mama. And you're beautiful and you're strong and you have survived all of that. So you hold your head up high. Go do something beautiful for yourself. Go get your nails done. Get a massage. Get something. Even if it's just ice cream. Okay, Mama? We love you. Take care. Take care of yourself now.